Why do you want to solo travel? Isn't it lonely? Hey guys, so I think like everybody else right now, I am in this state of self-quarantine. I thought it would be really timely to address one of the questions I get so often, which is it solo traveling lonely? For whatever reason, you're not always traveling with somebody else, and if you're in a new place, whether you're traveling through it or you moved temporarily for work, or maybe you just moved to a new city altogether, it can be really hard, especially as an adult, to meet new people. If you're new to this channel, my name is Malina. Welcome. I do videos all about house sitting, solo travel, and living the digital nomad lifestyle. So if you want to see more videos about any of those subjects, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time a new video goes live. When I first started solo traveling and house sitting, it was definitely hard for me to start making friends, and I really just want to talk about the things that have helped me. For any of these things to work, you have to be more open-minded than usual, and you really have to put yourself outside of your comfort zone. And what I mean by that is giving people a chance that you wouldn't normally. Try to meet people that are totally different than your other friends. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to be your best friend, and do not think that that's going to happen. If you are somebody who is used to somebody else always texting you and making plans with you, challenge yourself to be the person to make the first move. All right, so we've covered how to actually open up yourself mentally to be able to meet people. Let's talk about how you can actually meet those people. So first and foremost, I just want to say some of the strongest friendships I have made from solo traveling is through meeting people the old-fashioned way. And the only way that this really works is if you're not glued to your phone, you're not glued to your camera, and you're open to just starting small talk conversations with people. I met one of my best friends I have met from traveling by striking up a conversation with her right outside a cafe in Paris. And if I would have been glued to my phone or my camera, that opportunity probably would have passed.
When I don't speak Chinese and she doesn't speak English, this is how we translate.
听不懂你说的，你玩抖音吗？
Let's see.
I don't understand. You play Douyin?
Now, that's not to say that there aren't so many ways to meet people online this day and age, and I definitely go that route. The number one online resource that I use for every single city I go to is Bumble BFF. It's probably the easiest way that I know to meet new people because everybody who's on there is looking to make friends. A lot of times people who are on Bumble BFF, they actually live and work full-time in whatever location it is. And it's kind of fun because they absolutely know the area more than I do. So it's like you kind of get a local's take from the get-go. Bumble BFF is definitely one of those opportunities to meet people who are different than you and to just be open-minded to people. It's kind of weird because Bumble BFF is set up the same way that online dating is, where there's pictures of people, and I mean, I'm not really particular about people who are potential friends of mine, what they look like, but I guess they have to have some way to structure it, I don't know. So utilizing Instagram, there's two different ways that I do this. The number one way I do this is utilizing Instagram geotags and location. And basically, if you are looking to go somewhere and you know obviously the location, or you've seen a few places within this area that you're really wanting to go, if you just kind of check out the location tag, you can kind of browse, see people, check out their profile. And honestly, if you just feel like that you would vibe really well with this person, just slide into their DMs and let them know you are new to this place or you're traveling solo to this place. You're just looking to meet new friends. Obviously, not everybody's gonna respond to you, but this is really just part of being outside of your comfort zone. You're not going to meet anybody unless you get rejected a few times. When I talk about using Instagram hashtags, what I do is I try to find out what hashtags are specific to the hobbies that I'm interested in that new area. So I'm a photographer, I take photos every single place I go. I'm kind of lucky because most of the time I have some type of project that I'm working on and I need to recruit models for that project. Like I'm in Alaska right now. Before I came up here, I was searching hashtags to do with Alaska photography, and I connected with some pretty awesome people that way. So if you have specific hobbies and things that you know from the get-go you're interested in doing in this new place, figure out what hashtags are big in that location and do some creeping and find some people who you think you would vibe with well. There are a lot of different types of Facebook groups for solo travelers. There's also Facebook groups specific to the new city that you're in, especially if you have specific hobbies. If you're joining a Facebook group, make sure you're not just a silent bystander. Get engaged in the group, comment on things, try to find people who you can connect with, who are interested in the same things that you're interested in. You can't just join a Facebook group, not be active in the group, and just expect to connect with people. You really have to be dedicated to responding, following up, and really make it a priority to make something happen. Also, make sure you're plugged in with the different events happening in this new location, and utilize meetup.com. It's a really great way to, well, meet up with people and join groups in person. That being said, if you are meeting somebody that you met online, you know, be safe, meet them in public for the first time. And it's always a good idea to keep somebody else in the loop about where you're going, who you're meeting. My sister's such a crime junkie that she actually had this idea to keep a Google Doc about where you're going, who you're meeting, any type of details like that. Absolutely go to workout classes or hobby classes if there's things you're specifically interested in. I think it's really good from the get-go to just put yourself out there and try things that you would normally try in whatever place that it was that you were before. And if you are in a new community, especially if you've just moved somewhere new, look for places to volunteer, the things that you are really passionate about, the things that you can give back to, because this is really going to help you not only meet people, but it's also going to make you feel like you're more a part of the community. So Airbnb experiences or any type of group tours, that's a really good route too. And from the get-go, you already know that you have this one interest in common with the people as a part of that group. So it makes it a little bit easier to start conversation with them. It's such a fun experience to do group day trips or Airbnb experiences because it's another way to be exposed to people that you wouldn't normally be exposed to. If you are working and traveling, and especially if you are an online worker, take advantage of co-working spaces. This is a really good place to meet people who are in the same boat as you and to just feel like you also are in some type of routine every single day. Also, don't forget, if you go to church regularly or you are spiritual, try to find spiritual groups or find a good church that is a fit for you. If you know anyone who has spent time in this particular area before, a lot of times they have tips and they might know somebody to connect you with. And if there's somebody you haven't talked to in a long time who you know lives in the area or who lives close to the area, definitely reach out to them. It always makes people feel good to talk to people who are from home or from their past. I mean, if you did have a good relationship with them, it really just goes back to initiating and putting yourself out there and being outside your comfort zone. So we've talked about how to prepare yourself mentally, we've talked about how to actually meet people, and I want to end this by saying none of these things are going to work unless you actually make it a priority. I am somebody who is a huge to-do list person, so every time that I get to a new city, I actually put it into my to-do list to dedicate time to doing these things. It's really just like anything. How do you expect to get a result from something unless you are the one putting the effort into it? I definitely want to say though, it's not always easy to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, be outside your comfort zone, and be open-minded to meeting new people. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. I still have those moments where I really have to talk myself up to go and meet this new person or talk myself up to really put myself out there because sometimes it is really hard. So give yourself some grace and just try the best that you can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this video helps you meet new people, whether you're solo traveling or you've moved to a new place. If you want any more detail about any of these things that I've talked about or you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If you've liked this video, please be sure to subscribe, hit the bell to be notified every time a new video goes live, and definitely check out this video or this video next.